Okay, this is Elenzo Radio. This is where Neo Soul lives, Anthony B and Mr. Carlos, right up until 10 o'clock. Hey, listen, our guest, she's a musician, artist. She's based in Bristol, in the city of Bristol. Her main genre is classic music, classic soul music, but she has been incorporating her style with her portfolio such as soulful jazz, funk, jazz, and Latin. And she's here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to put your left hand together with your right simultaneously and give a warm welcome to the one, the only, Vanessa Poolian. Hey, 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 hey.
Hello.
Hello, Vanessa. How are you?
Hi. I'm good, thanks. How are you doing? You okay?
Yeah. How's things? I could just about hear you. You're in the background.
Okay. I'll shout a bit louder and hopefully you can hear that.
Okay.
You got me? Can you
We're
hear
just trying to
me?
get this modulation-y thing working because, yeah, I'm the technician. I can't. Uh, Look, just to let you know, listener, she's FaceTime. And just to let you know as well, she's looking at us and saying, "What the hell? Why did I actually get into this in the first place? These guys, they don't even look like they're DJs."
See, the problem is, Vanessa, I tried to recruit a real technician. It just didn't work.
It's all right.
Okay,
I'll let you
Vanessa,
off.
how are you? Right,
I'm
bear with me
doing
1 second.
well.
I'm really going to try and get this up and working right now. 1 second. Right, should be able to hear you now. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you guys? Can you hear me now?
Okay, good. I could
Yeah?
just about hear
Just
you, yeah,
about.
which
I'm
is
gonna
not bad
shout.
because we're doing well here. So, just a question. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into the business? How did you do that?
Okay. So my story is going to be atypical to most musician stories. I haven't been doing music since I was 2 years old, but I've always enjoyed music. I've always enjoyed listening predominantly soul, neo soul, R&B, bit of jazz,
Okay.
soulful rock, different genres of music that I've always loved listening to since I was probably around 2 years old, actually. But I've had a very different career background. I actually come from quite a boring IT background. so
Fantastic, yeah.
so maybe I could have helped you guys in the studio today, but I'm
Okay.
not where you are. But yeah,
So,
I got more into music a year ago, actually, into like composing my own music and writing
so
my own music.
okay. So, is it
Yeah.
always something that you wanted to do, get into the music industry?
Yeah.
How did that all come about?
Well, it's when I moved to Bristol.
Why did you decide to actually do that track?
Yeah, I write from my soul. It's as simple as that. I write music that the music that I produce is based on my own experience because I don't know how you can write it any other way. So it was just something I decided to do because I felt that
Okay.
when I moved to Bristol, I had moved on to a new stage of my life and I left the past behind, and there were new opportunities coming through. This one being a major opportunity, in fact. And I just wrote about it. I
Right.
just
Yeah.
the tune just appeared in my head one day, and I thought, okay, I want to write something based on the tune that kept going around my head, and so I wrote some lyrics to it, and it came very naturally. It was not. It was with ease that I created this song, and I think when you're in your creative flow, your best work comes out, and I felt like this was the case with this song as well. There was no need to like try and make it anything else. You just allow for it to happen. And I was not expecting it to really go anywhere, if I'm going to be honest, because I don't set expectations on these things. I just did it because I enjoy it. I absolutely love. I've discovered that I love creating music.
You just work.
Now.
You just do
Yeah.
what you do best. Yeah.
Yeah, you just do it with your heart and soul, and you can't go wrong if you go with your heart and soul on music.
Okay. My next question really is, what really inspires you to write songs? Is it the sun? I mean, let's be honest, it was 34 degrees today, and tonight it's going to be
Yeah.
like 16 to 20 degrees. I mean, when you look at the sun, you look at the stars at night, does that inspire? What actually inspires you? Is it
Yeah.
relationships? How does your songs come about?
Yeah. I can't put it down to one thing, but I'm very inspired by the example that you gave was a perfect example, nature. I think nature's a wonderful thing, and you can gain a lot of inspiration when you're in nature. So that is one element of it. But like I said earlier, I wrote this song based on my own personal experience. So it's kind of writing from your heart and soul is writing from your
Yeah.
experiences and your emotions. So it, it really does depend what's going on in your life at the time. And I'm sure a lot of musicians would agree with that, is that they write based on the circumstances of their life and the emotions, the emotional state that they're going through as well.
Okay, the kind of artists that you've been working with in the past, and now obviously you're going to look at new projects for the future. What kind of artists would you like to work with in the future?
So because I'm heavily into like soul and classic soul, um, I haven't actually pinpointed any specific artists as yet, because
Yes,
I'm allowing
love it.
I'm allowing that to just happen naturally, and I think it's to do with resonance. So whichever artists out there, if they hear the music and they resonate with it and they like the sound, then I'll be happy to work with artists like that, because I think you can really get into working with them if you are on the same wavelength on music. And I think that's the most important thing, really, is that resonance.
Okay, all right. And the kind of music, I mean, I've looked at your biog, and I'm seeing, you've done rock, that kind of music. You've done a bit of funk, jazz, Latin.
Yeah.
I do you actually want to get into that side of music as well, or is your main focus going to be really on the soul side of things?
I think my main focus at the moment is soul, because I am producing an album which is also called Moving On, and that is the genre in that album is predominantly soul. There is a Latin track in there actually, because I enjoy Latin music as well. So I'm a salsa dancer, so I'm gonna enjoy Latin music too. So I'm open to different genres of music, but I think predominantly it's soul, because I absolutely love soul music, and neo soul as well.
Okay, all right. So it seems like you really want to get back or get into, in a bigger way, neo soul, because you're the kind of song that you've sent to me, which is absolutely fantastic, by the way. You know, we've been pumping it on LN Soul Radio, where
Thank
neo
you.
soul lives. Have you got any new kind of tracks coming up in the not too distant future? I mean, how are you working with lockdown? I mean, do you have a studio at your home, or do you actually go to a studio, providing there's social distancing? How does that all work?
I personally don't have a studio, but just to mention, actually, the co-writer on the song is Anders Olinda, who created the music and the keys on there. He has a contact that has a studio, so because of lockdown at the moment, many things need to be done remotely. So because of technology these days, you can send MP3s off via email or by other streams of media. So that's how we're doing it, really.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I am, in answer to your question, I'm working on a new song. It's not been released yet, but it's called Keep Your Spirits High, because it's what we need in this lockdown.
Fantastic. Hey, listen, you seem to be doing all the right things. I need to learn one or two tricks from you, because, you know, we've been having technical difficulties here. I'm even surprised we're talking to you right now, because it is very, very difficult, and I'm still learning. But as you know, it's a new radio station, LN Soul Radio. Thanks for your support, and obviously sending us your fantastic tune, which you're about to introduce, and we'll play it so the listeners, because we've got a few listeners, even though with the technical issues, we still got loads of listeners, and they're kind of helping us out, say, the mic's too high, too low, and so on and so forth. But really,
Great.
Thanks for your support. I suppose my final question, you know, whilst you're writing and you're kind of getting inspired and what you're going to write for your next particular song, out of the music side of things, because I always ask this question, so it's coming. Bear with me, Vanessa, on this one. Yeah, are you poised? You're obviously sitting down. You're ready for it. What do you do outside of all the music and all that side? What do you do in your spare time? What do you do?
Okay, so I've mentioned one hobby, salsa, but unfortunately, with the current circumstances, I'm not able to do it.
So, yeah. Do you do that? Do you do that quite often, or is that, you know, every now and then? Obviously, with social distancing, how do you do? Well, I suppose you can dance on your own. Is that correct? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not really. If I'm going to be honest, I'm not doing it right now until, you know, things are kind of, you know. For me, it's important to have a partner to dance with and have that chemistry there. So if that's not there, I'm not really going right now. But in the future, I hope to go back. But the other things I do, I enjoy food very much. So I love baking. And for those that have seen my Facebook profile, there are a lot of different types of recipes on there, and you know, cakes and main meals and everything because I very much love food. I think food is life, like music is. So anything that is creative, I enjoy doing, and I also like writing as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there may be a book coming, who knows, soon. So we'll see what life brings.
Listen, you're a very talented woman. I could see by what you've just said to me, very, very talented. You know, just out of interest, what do you bake? Is it just cakes or is it bread? What do you actually do? Am I going to see you on, you know, Bake Off on Channel 4? Go on,
quite,
give me the answer to that.
Yeah, not if you see my presentation, because my presentation isn't as good as what you would get on Bake Off or anything like that. But for me, the important thing is the taste of it. So yeah, I bake, like I love baking different types of cakes, like mousses as well, and I try and make them as healthy as possible because I'm into health and fitness as well. So that's important. So yeah, all sorts, believe me.
Okay, and finally, really, can we expect an album from you, or is it just going to be singles all the way? How's that going to work for you finally?
Yeah, and so as I mentioned earlier, that my album is that I'm working on at the moment is called Moving On. So the same name as the track that you're going to play shortly. So there will be an album coming shortly.
Sorry, how many songs are going to be on your album? Could you tell me that, or is it work in progress?
I'd say it's work in progress. Possibly around 7 to 10, but again, I'm just going to allow the creative flow, so to speak, and then see what happens from there. But I think that's usually standard for an album, isn't it? Anything from 7 tracks to about 14, depending. So I think the important thing is the quality, really, more than the quantity in this case.
Okay, well, Vanessa Poolian, you see, I got your name right. I was practicing that all day today. I didn't want to get your second name wrong in any way whatsoever. Listen, thank you very much indeed for coming on the show. If you would like to say to the listeners and introduce your fantastic track, which I'm about to play. Off you go.
Great. So, the track is co-written with Anders Olinda and Jill Saywood from Shack Attack, and the name of the track is Moving On.
Well, thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Tony Poolian. Yeah! Vanessa, see? Vanessa Poolian. I told you I'd get it wrong in the end. Okay, thank you very much for coming on the show. Take care, yeah?
Thanks for having me, and take
Thank
care,
you.
guys. Thanks. Bye.